everyone.
Good morning.
Corey.
So who are my fellow disc golf players out there? 2. Okay. 3. Who's at least heard of it? Okay, good. Even better. And who's maybe seen those metal basket random chain things out in the park and wondered what the heck those are?
Wow.
Yeah, that's part of disc golf. So I've played disc golf since I was in college, very casually back in college, and more recently I've really taken a bit of a deep dive, as I do with hobbies sometimes, as you'll see, but I've learned how rewarding it can be and how enjoyable it can be for myself and my growing family even. So I'm going to tell you what disc golf is, what are some of the benefits of it, and how you can get started yourselves. So disc golf, actually, the very earliest disc golf kind of started out in the early 1900s in Canada, actually, where people just throwing pie tins on the beach, trying to land them in different places on the beach. Modern disc golf is credited with starting back in the 1960s, though, where it popped up in multiple campuses around the country, particularly with the invention of the modern throwing disc, which is more like my ultimate frisbee disc that I have here. It wasn't quite at this point, but that's what kind of started modern disc golf. And students would just play on their campus and throw it and say, let's try to get closest to that tree over there, and throw it over there, and then chase it around. And then in the 1970s, they actually started to develop the modern baskets that you see, which will actually catch a disc that's flying through the air. So disc golf is a combination of frisbee and golf, which I had Julie say kind of the fun name of frolf. People will actually call it disc golf, but frolf is like kind of a combination of frisbee and golf. It's fundamentally the same as golf, where you start off at a tee and you throw it down like a fairway, and you throw towards a green. In this instance, is a little open area that might be around a steel basket that will catch your disc as it flies through the air. So, a great thing with disc golf is that these courses are popping up all over the country and all over the world, and they are complementary typically to public parks and your public spaces. That's why you may have randomly seen a cage out while you're on a walk in the park. They're largely partnerships with the local parks and recreations to build courses on existing parks, and then they're often primarily maintained by volunteer groups like local disc golf clubs, which will help maintain, in some instances, mow, kind of clean up the tee pads, make sure that the equipment, what minimal equipment is needed out there, is maintained, and the signage and stuff. So that's kind of what disc golf is in a nutshell. So then what are some of the benefits? As I said, it's typically at a park, so it's in really beautiful locations. And if you already like to go for walks in the park, what better way to go for a walk in the park than put a little fun motivation of a game to it, or challenging yourself to improve and give yourself a motivation to walk the whole around parts of the park that you might not normally walk. I know personally, as like things get stressful at work and maybe in life, with like busy with a newborn and everything, it's very nice, similar into a lot of your outlets like normal golf or other things, to get out and just turn your brain off for a little bit and play a round of disc golf. Enjoy nature, listen to the sounds, smell the fresh cut grass, and really focus on the only challenge in life in that moment is trying to make a good shot. So similar to other outlets you might have tried. Other benefits are it is simple yet challenging. So it's very beginner friendly. You can get started at a very low floor, and you can be content playing that way the rest of your life. You can start off with just a couple basic discs, not dive in too much after that, and go enjoy the occasional round in the nice weather. But then, like other sports, say for instance golf, it rewards practice. And improving your shots and improving your technique and your form and feeling that satisfaction of getting better and lowering your score. And you can take it as big of a challenge as you want to. So then it's also really cheap to play. So whereas, for instance, I keep comparing to golf because golf has a higher barrier to entry because clubs are more expensive. It's less beginner friendly because you just whack a ball and it goes who knows where. With a disc, it's very rewarding for the beginner to start. And then it's very cheap to actually start too. So this looks expensive, and it kind of is once you get to all of this, but really you don't need this to get started. From back in college, all I ever played with were 3 discs, and that's all you really need in your collection. Is a driver, a mid-range, and a putter. And just like golf, it's like a driver, an iron, and a putter. And they're made differently to fly differently. Further, middle of the road with more control, and then really slower disc that has even more control. So I'll go ahead and actually pass examples of these around. The top one is a driver, the middle one is a mid-range, and the bottom one is a putter. So just kind of the 3 groups in the billing. And so then, yes, like you have a lot of irons in your bag, you can have a lot of discs in your bag as well for all those different shots if you want to dive in more. So how to get started? You can actually pick up those 3 discs that I'm recommending for roughly about $30 or so. Like on the cheaper end of the plastic discs, it's about $8 or $9 per disc. And so it's a low cost entry and you can be out and start playing. There's typically 0 greens fees because they're on public parks and public spaces, so you can just walk up and play. There's the occasional pay to play, but even then it's only like $5 round or so. Definitely mostly on public parks, so free to play. So there you go. It's like $30 and you're set for a lifetime of fun. So then where to buy though? You can buy them like on Amazon and stuff, but I really recommend, if you want to check it out, go to Dynamic Disc Store, which is just around the corner of the original Oklahoma Joe's location. So get yourself some good barbecue up there. It'll be overwhelming with all the discs on the wall, but they love to help you out and give you a wealth of information to go out and try. So the Blue Valley Disc Golf Course, just down the road from here, is a great beginner-friendly course. Little did you may have known, the Blue Valley West campus location actually has a disc golf course there in the southeast corner of the property. So don't be intimidated, give it a try, and go out and have some fun. Thank you.